Australian share market enjoyed a much better day on Tuesday compared to its recent experience. It finished with a gain of around 0.75%. So central to that was an improvement in the Turkish lira against the US dollar, notwithstanding all of the concern that remains, particularly in relation to bank exposure to Turkey. That's mainly concentrated in European banks, most notably in Spain and in Italy. It's still front of mind, but in broad terms, investors locally were at least prepared to chance their arm today. They were even able to weather some weaker than expected numbers in relation to Chinese economic news. Retail sales, industrial production and fixed asset investment were all weaker than what the market had anticipated, or economists at least. But this consolidated the belief that Chinese authorities are going to be more committed to an economic support program as far as the Chinese economy is concerned. So today we had miners do quite well. BHP was up by around 1.5%. Rio was up by 0.2%. South 32 bucked that trend. It was down by around 0.75%. Banks did quite well. They were the mainstay for the market today. Westpac was up by more than 2%. Gold stocks reflecting the concern that still remains as far as geopolitical issues are concerned. Barbara Limited was up by around 3%. It was a pretty busy day as far as earnings numbers were concerned. Cochlear weighed on the healthcare sector. That stock was down by around 3%. Their earnings numbers struck the wrong chord with investors. Whitehaven Coal was up more in early trade. Their numbers were better than expected. What stood out was a 13-cent special dividend, but the shares waned a little bit towards the end of trade and finished with a gain of only 1%. Domino's Pizza stood out. They missed on several counts as far as their full-year earnings are concerned. Full-year profit coming in with a 15% increase to $136 million, but that was below the market's expectations along with their outlook. The shares finished down by 7%. JB Hi-Fi, better than expected number. That stock up by 5%. And the Aussie dollar in a holding pattern today, it must be said, trading around 72.8 US cents.